And as far as somebody saying they're Wahhabi, that's haram to even say that. Do you know why? Who knows it's wrong to say that? Why? Why? That's the name of Allah. Al-Wahhab. Is it? Is that the name of Allah? Do you not remember I was just talking about in another section, don't make fun of Allah's names? And you're calling somebody a Wahhabi? You can't say it about yourself, and you cannot say it about somebody else. Because it's Allah's name. Don't play with it. And by the way, the people who played with that were the enemies of somebody, but they didn't want to call him by his name, his followers by his name, so they called it by his father's name. His name, he lived 270 years ago, his name was Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. But they don't call him Abdul Wahhabis, or bin Abdul Wahhabis, or Mohammedans, because they know you could catch them in what they're saying. But these were the enemies to this particular scholar and his teachings. What he was saying is that basically you shouldn't worship people in their graves, and you shouldn't worship the grave site, and you shouldn't build these big temples in there to go to. And his followers tore down those places in the graveyards, and they became so angry that instead of dealing with the fact, he brought the proof. But they didn't like it, so they insulted him, and they wrote books against him. Because it messed up their Sufi tariqas. Okay? So they did that, and they lied, and they keep on lying until today. But I've read his books. He's got the best book I ever read, translated to English, on Tawheed, and it's called Kitab al-Tawheed. How many of you heard about it? Did you find anything wrong in it? He quoted the book of Allah. And they can't argue with that, so they just said a label, Wahhabi. What really happened over 200 years ago, there was a student of knowledge who memorized the Quran when he was not even a teenager yet. He studied all of the fiqh, jurisprudence of the Hanafi. Then he began to study others. And his father, who was a scholar, told him to stop. Just stay with what we have. He said, I want to learn the others. His father almost disowned him because of it. It was very upsetting. You know, don't do that. But he wanted to learn all of it so he could understand, and he began to learn quite a bit. He became convinced that he needed to learn more, and he discovered through this learning that the people of his time were making a grave mistake. I used the right word too, because they were worshiping at graves. They were literally going to graves and calling upon dead people to help them. Righteous people, good people.